Hi, Gil from Testing Gil here. Today, let's talk about test design. We don't do that a lot, and the results are not pretty. Let's first start with what is a design. A design in general is a solution to a problem. The solution may be complete or incomplete. Sometimes a solution might create other problems down the road. The problem that we try to solve can be solved in different ways. That means we can have multiple designs for the same problem. Here's an example of a bad design. This is a solution to a problem called COVID. The solution to COVID is social distancing. And what you see here is an implementation of a chosen design. As you can see, the design is incomplete. It only works on one axis. Any virus that knows a bit of geometry can overcome it. So, a design can be complete, incomplete, or just plain wrong. Each design also comes with a price tag. In our example here, the price tag was painting red lines on the floor. That's one choice. They could have put on separating walls, like this. If they put the separating walls correctly, like this, it would be a better solution to the problem, but it will cost more than the stripes. Or they could have put the separating walls like this. This does not only not solve the problem, it costs more than the red stripes. So, that's design in general. Now, what is test design? In testing, we like to learn stuff. Our role is to learn as much as we can from the application and report the findings to stakeholders. In order to do that, we ask questions. Then we design our tests to answer these questions. The questions are of a does it work variety usually. I've done a video about what does it work actually mean. You can watch it here. Most people start and end with does it work. It's usually simple and easy to think about a workflow that will end with an expected result. For example, does logging into the system works? It's easy to test. Go to the login screen, type in proper credentials, and if it works, you'll move into the next screen. If it doesn't work, you get a rejection screen or something like that. No need to ask questions, the tests write themselves. Sometimes it's easy to create a design. Let's say we already have an automated test for the working logging in scenario. You want another one for the failed login? Take the first test, copy it, modify a few bits, and you've got a new test for the second scenario. The way that we created the second test means that we chose a design for it. Is it a good design? Not sure. We know that code application is not a good thing, but we'll tackle that in a separate video. For now, let's get back to does it work. Let's ask a different question. Does login work with 50,000 users concurrently? It's still a does it work question, but the tests that we have so far feel that they cannot answer this question correctly. So we can feel it, but what is the real reason? When we're learning about the application, by testing it, we're not really working on a production level system. It could be a partial system, it could be a degraded system, it could be just the code. What we try to do is look at the results of the non-production system testing that we've done and try to infer from them how things will go in the production level in the real world. When we ran our first tests and look at the result, we actually thought, well, it will probably go the same way in production. In our mind, there's a short distance between what we saw in the tests and how it will actually run in production. We know how code works, and we understand how things are different between the testing staging that we have now and the production. And we kind of measure the distance in our mind and come to the conclusion that it will probably work the same. But when we apply the same thinking to the 50,000 people logging in at once, we understand there's a greater distance between what we see here in our staging environment and production. In order to make the jump, we need a design that reduces this distance. We need a design to help us feel that the way it works here, it will work in production. The new design requires some tools. We need to simulate 50,000 calls at the same time. And we need to track the requests, log on all the responses, the times, everything around it, and see how the system behaves and report back everything that it learned. This design is obviously different than the initial setup that we had. But with this design, we can cover the distance between what happens here in the lab and what happens in production. The main part of any design is to make sure that it answers our questions. That's its value. But every design has a cost as well. Let's get back to the original login example, the one with the single user, not 50,000. We can test this scenario manually or automatically. Each choice comes with a cost. If we tested it manually, we will probably get a feedback a lot quicker. But over time, the cost will accumulate and we'll invest more time in getting these results over and over again. The automatic version, though, will have a ramp-up time of writing and stabilizing and seeing the result actually reported in a manner that we like. But over time, it will probably cost nothing. Almost. We can choose different designs to answer our questions, and those will come with different advantages and costs. Let's get back to our example, logging in, but we can check it this time either from the screen or through an API. If we tested it through the screen, it's more real, like the real user will do. But the test can be more fragile. If we tested it through the API, it's not real enough, but it's going to be a lot more stable than the formal test. When we are thinking about different designs, we can finally compare them. We can think about the advantages and we can think about the costs and decide which way to go. But that's not often the case, is it? We usually don't consider multiple design. We just go with the quickest fix that we can and then move on. And this is where we're missing out. When we're not considering other options, we might be missing out on other options that might be giving us a better, more complete answers for does it work, or some other designs that will be either cheaper or saving time now or later. The cool thing is this is your choice. From the next test you write, you can actually start considering different designs. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, like, subscribe, and watch other videos on this channel. And in the comments down below, tell me about the last time that you made a design decision out of 3 different design options. You know you should do it, right? Until next time, bye-bye.